Hey guys, hadn't done a video in a while. I know I say that pretty much every time I do a video, but I stay busy. I'm sorry, I do apologize. But let's play catch up real quick. I'll just show you kind of some of my other projects. Of course, this is my 03, that's my 99. Here's my 93 that I bought. Found this truck on Marketplace. Pretty good buy on it. Super solid old truck. It's got just a little bit of rust in each cab corner. Nothing terrible. I probably won't even fool with that. The tires look new as far as the tread's concerned, but they're dry rotted pretty bad. This truck came out of let's see, where'd I go to get this thing? Crossville, Tennessee, and it belonged to an older gentleman. He was moving to Pennsylvania. He didn't care really anything about selling it, but he didn't want to take it with him. The transmission's out of it, and the fuel pump was bad. Now I put a fuel pump in it and checked the transmission. I was hoping maybe it shifts solenoids or something, but it wasn't. The transmission's bad, so I'm going to have to pull it out and rebuild it. Maybe I can do some videos on me building that thing. Now, with that being said, I'm not a transmission guy. I read books, I watch videos, and I do what they say to do, and that's worked so far. As far as I know, any of them that I've built are still on the road, and they haven't failed yet, so that's a good thing. Now, this has been a 93, 94. That was kind of the worst 4L60 they built. They had a lot of weak points, so it's sort of an odd duck, but I'll put the hardened sun shell and drum and stuff back in this thing and fix all the weak points, and this should service somebody for a long time. Should be a good truck. It's got 214,000 miles. The old guy that I got it from, he used it in disaster relief or something. He's a volunteer, so it had a camper top on it. You can kind of see up there around the roof. Somebody's throwing no rag or so. Oh, that's the headliner. That's the headliner I pulled out of it. But this was kind of his home away from home. He slept in this truck. Of course, you can see there where the camper top was. The interior is so-so. It needs some cleaning for sure, but it's presentable. It's not terrible. It's got a cigarette hole here, looks like. Again, the headliner is bad. It was kind of sagging down on my head, so I just sort of pulled it out of there. The dash has got some cracks. Coverlay makes a cover for that, and we'll probably do that. I've got a brown dash that I could put in this thing, but that is a job. I've done it, and it's not really something I care to do again. I could, but like I said, I think the Coverlay covers 140 bucks or something. That's a whole lot easier than changing that whole dash out. So we'll just put the Coverlay on it, do the headliner, and clean the rest of it up. That'll be it. Again, build the transmission, get some stock size tires for it. That's as far as I want to go with it right now. I love these long bed trucks. Now, don't get me wrong, the short beds, prettier trucks, and they sell better. They bring better money. But as far as a truck that you can use, I like the long beds. You can go get a full sheet of plywood, some 8-foot 2x4s and stuff, throw them in the back of the truck, shut the tailgate. They're not hanging, you know, over the top or anything. So I like this truck. I like it a lot. Of course, anything can be bought besides this one and that old piece of junk, but neither one of them is really going to bring much money anyway. So all right, so we'll get back to that one. Here's the Oldsmobile. I don't know if I've kind of updated y'all on this thing. I don't believe I have. This is a pretty good car. The floorboards are super solid. The trunk pan's solid. It's got a little bit of rust around the trunk lip and the rear lower quarters. This car took a little bit of a hit in the rear at some point. You can kind of see here it's boogered up a little bit. The bumper's missing, but it's cheap. You know, I'm not in it real deep. If somebody was interested in this car, I'd take $1,500 for it. It's got a good title. It's in my name. It's got a 394 rocket. It runs really good. We actually accidentally hooked the muffler on my trailer when we were loading it, and we pulled the muffler off of it, so it's loud, but we can start it if somebody's interested. Now, I don't want to ship it, nothing like that. It's not worth all that. The interior, it's all here. Of course, the seats are not perfect. They've got some bad places. The door panels, kind of the same stuff you're going to see in any of these old cars. The bottom's kind of tattered up, but you know, the dash is all there, the gauges, the original radio. It's got the owner's manual, the protector plate. I've got everything to do the brakes right there. Now, with that being said, I've got rebuild kits for the wheel cylinders and the master cylinder. So I done a video a while back kind of showing y'all how to take them apart. I will do a video on me actually rebuilding these. Hopefully all the bores are okay, but it's worth the risk. I think these wheel cylinders are about 30 bucks a piece. Then you got to ship them, so you know you're getting into a little bit of money there. The master cylinders like 160, 170 on Rock Auto. The Oldsmobile parts, Buick, Pontiac, stuff like that, it's a lot higher than the Chevrolet stuff. That's why a lot of people don't fool with this kind of oddball stuff, but there is a following for these Oldsmobiles, especially these the bigger cars, the Dynamic 88s. I see a lot of them out there, and people are fooling with them. So cool old car. The trim is off the passenger side. I think it's got the piece for the fender on it, but I've got all of it. It's in the car. Yeah, see, it's got the piece for the fender, but the doors and the quarter panel back there, all that's missing, but it's in the car. It's all here. Like I said, if you're interested in it, you're close to East Tennessee, I'd put you in it. Again, it's got a good title. It does run. We can start it. Now, the car was drove 7 or 8 years ago, and the guy passed away. I bought it from his widow, and the guy that had it is one of Mr. PIB's best friends. So that's where the car came from. I don't know a whole lot about it, but like I said, it does run good. So there's that one. We'll get to that. Like I said, if it don't sell, I'm not really advertising it. Here's a 1970 Camaro. This car belongs to Tim Dixon and Angie Dixon. This is actually Angie's car. Tim's fixing it for her. See, it's got a little bit of rust right back here in this quarter, but underneath this car is as good as I've ever seen. It's still like the orangish red color underneath. That's what they would have been from the factory. Perfect floors, perfect trunk, no rust whatsoever. It's got the correct seats in it. You know, it's got the, well, any of you Camaro guys know, you know what a 70 seat looks like. 71 up went to kind of the bigger, uglier seat. In my opinion, I like these seats a lot better. The console's there. The dash looks pretty good. It's kind of rolling up down there on the edge, but again, this is a very lucky car because Tim's one of the best metal guys I've ever seen, and Angie is one of the best interior ladies I've ever seen. So car's gonna get a lot of love. It's been sitting a long time. Tim kind of stayed after this car. He knew where it was at, and I guess he kind of stayed after it for a while. Finally got it bought. So you can see it's took a little lick up here on the front, but Tim's bought all the correct metal. I told him I'd put the RS front end on it, but he don't like that front end. You know, it's got the parking lights here and the big rubber nose cone, which that is, it does kind of pop out there a little bit, but I just like the RS lights. All original under the hood. Not been monkeyed with. All the air conditioner stuff still there. Original 350 car, 2-barrel. We're going to leave it 2-barrel. This car later on may get a little hot rod motor shoved down its throat if Angie ever gets tired of it and Tim takes it over. But for right now, we're just going to get it to where Angie can jump in it and drive it down the road. Of course, she's going to have it painted. Tim's going to do obviously the metal work and stuff. So good car. This is a really good car. It may not look like much, but this is a good car to start with. Your structure, that's the main thing with one of these old cars, especially these Camaros. My dad's fooled with 67, 89 Camaros all his life. Of course, he's had several of these old split bumper type cars. Everybody calls these split bumper cars. The majority of these cars were full bumper cars, but you know, the RS cars had the split bumper, so everybody calls them split bumpers. I was looking here, it kind of looks like maybe it's had a quarter put in it, but the guy had told him that's where the vinyl top was. I guess this was a vinyl top car at one point in its life. It's been painted at some point. It was actually a lot prettier blue. You can see sort of the original color here in the door jambs, but the doors are good and tight. They're not falling down. That's a heavy ass door. If you grab that door, you're grabbing a hold of something. So a lot of times you, on these cars, all the way up to even the 81s, and then of course the 82 to 92, those are extremely heavy doors as well, but they're not sagging when you open them. They're not falling, you know, down on the floor, nothing like that. So it's a really good car. I'm excited to kind of see what comes of this car. Now my part's just going to be going through the mechanics of it. Tim's got a million things going on as usual, and he's just kind of subbed this one out to me, I guess. We're going to go through the brakes, the fuel system, kind of check it for little leaks and stuff. He's got me some valve cover gaskets and stuff, but once I get it started, get it to where I can drive. Of course, we're gonna change all the fluids and stuff. I'll pull it in here and make sure there's nothing in the floor. We'll let it sit here for a little while, see what it's leaking, and then we'll address that. So there's that one. Ignore this lawnmower. This is my brother-in-law's lawnmower. I've been kind of working on it for him, and we've got it straightened out. It's ready to go. Here's Matilda, my 1959 Kingswood wagon. I love this car. I've been trying to get it ready for the rod run. I was going to take it up there, possibly sell it if it would bring its money, which is going to be $30,000. I know that probably sounds kind of stupid to some of y'all, but these 59s are very iconic. Impala guys, this is kind of the holy grail for most of them, I say. Of course, a lot of pretty Impalas. I like a 58. I like them all, really. About the only ones I don't care a whole lot for, maybe the, well, I mean, I even like them, but probably my least favorite Impala is the, 70 up, I guess. But anyway, the 59s, they're expensive. I started looking for one when I found this car. I couldn't get it bought. So I looked around, I found a red one in Texas. It was $15,000, and it was just a body. With rusty floor pans, no motor, no transmission, drum brakes all the way around. And I was going to go buy that. So I'm way ahead with this one. When I finally talked the lady out of it, I called her at the right time and she sold it to me. So I've been trying to get a headliner put in it. I got to get the carpet put in it, but I won't put the carpet in it till I get the headliner in it, because this makes a hell of a mess when you're all that old insulation and stuff up above the headliner. I've got it in as far as just in the car. I've got all the bows and stuff in it, but me not knowing what I'm doing, this is where inexperience kind of comes in. I don't fool with interior much. Now I don't care to put like a stock seat cover on. Carpet's no problem at all. Headliners, just something I've never really done. I've got the windlace mostly in, and I pulled this back loose because my tack strips. Again, this comes from inexperience. I didn't realize that these cars even had this. So that tells you how much I know. But anyway, after I started stapling it, the old tack strip was just kind of busting. It's dry rotted. So anyway, I stuck it in there. I thought, well, the trim will go on it and hold it. And it will for the most part. But, all that's there for a reason. I don't want to pawn this thing off on the next guy. It would have worked just fine. But anyway, we're going to take it back loose, put the tack strip in it, staple it back in there, put all the trim back on it, and then we got to start stretching this headliner. And I'm going to have some metal staples. I've kind of cut myself short again today. I didn't realize I needed staples for metal. I said metal staples. I guess all staples are metal, but I need staples that'll actually penetrate metal. So got to get those and then get busy on this thing. I don't know that it's going to go to rod run. My dad's got a 69 RS Camaro. It's a really slick car. I don't think he's going to get to go. We've had some sickness in the family. My wife has been a little under the weather, and my daughter as well. And me to an extent. I think it's a lot of issues with allergies. I mowed for the first time the other day, and there's a lot of pollen, so it usually doesn't bother me too bad. But anyway, so that's where we're at. I may not take it. It may just stay here. Again, I don't really care nothing about selling this one. I love this car, so it's not going to hurt my feelings if I don't get to take it. I will be up there. Worst case, I may have to drive back and forth, may cancel my room if my wife's not feeling any better. And of course my dad, his wife, my stepmother, she's got some sickness in her family, so he's not going to get to go and stay, but me and him will more than likely just ride up a day or two and check some stuff out, see what we can find, and just come straight back home. And we're not that far. I think I'm about an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. Doesn't bother me. I do that every single day going to work and back. Of course, that's a round trip. This will be one way, but whatever. It is what it is. All right, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to catch y'all up. Oh, the big thing. Probably noticed it a while ago. I was showing the Camaro. I put a lift in. This is an Atlas 9K HO, I believe. I like the lift. I'm a little bit weary of it right now because I'm not real used to using one. I've used them. I've worked under them before and not really thought much of it. But this one is freshly installed. One, of course, it might be a terrible way to look at it, but a lot of times if I know, somebody's had a lift put in for a while, obviously it hadn't went nowhere in, quite a few years. It's probably not going to that particular day, but anyway, all this is new and fresh, and so I'm just being careful with it till I get used to it. But I'll get used to it. It's going to make life a whole lot easier. This was, I think, like $3600 or $700. I'm in it about $4,000 by the time I had to buy a few little extras, maybe a little more than that. I don't know, but it's money well spent. I wanted a 4-post, but the big thing with a 4-post, you can't pull a motor. You can lift it up, you can take everything loose, but then you'd have to push it out, push it back in another bay, of course, because you have a bar running across the front and well in the rear, so you can't slide a cherry picker under it. Now you could maybe, you know, put something up the roof to pick it out there with, but this thing's got wooden rafters in it, so we're not going to do all that. But I could already tell I'm really going to like it. I had this car up in the air earlier, and like I said, the floors are just absolutely killer on this thing. You know, again, just learning how to get them centered and, you know, up in the air right so it's not tipsy. I've got some jacks over here that'll kind of help balance it out. Again, just something I got to get used to. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get in the house. I've got to go pick up dinner tonight. I'm not cooking. I'm gonna go pick it up, be lazy. But hopefully I can get back on my wagon Matilda tomorrow. I got to get some staples and get on this thing. I got to get this thing done. Angie built me some pieces, and of course Tim done some work on the other side of this car, and I got to get another hole fixed. And so they've went out of their way to help me, so I'm gonna have to jump on theirs and get it done. They say it's no hurry, and I know they don't care. They've got cars everywhere, but I want to get it done for them. But she made these for me, and I'm real proud of that. Real proud of those. She cut this new cardboard out and made me a whole new piece, and then sewed my windlass to it. So we'll get it. I'll get a little bit discouraged with this interior. There's a lot to it, a lot of pieces, a lot of trim. Don't know exactly what I'm missing and what I ain't, but I'll eventually get it, God willing. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna get in the house and get cleaned up. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.